Alright, so this is my review on the HPI Baja 5BSS kit version. Um, this is a 1/5 scale buggy. It's gas powered. It's not a nitro motor. This uses a 2-cycle engine, so regular pump gas and oil mixture, similar to what you would have on a weed whacker trimmer engine. This is my second 5th scale. I owned a FG monster truck, and you know, similar size, similar engines. Those came with the Noah engine. But I really like the HPIs. Many of their cars I've enjoyed them. Everything from the Savage 21, some of their street cars, the Firestorms. But this is an awesome buggy here. I love being able to find awesome cars in a kit version. And for those of you just getting into this hobby, I highly recommend getting your cars in the kit version so you get a chance to build them. It's a fun part of the process, and by the time you get done, you know how the entire thing works. When something breaks, which it will, you'll know how to get in there and replace parts. You know, also if you have kids, the building process can be fun for them too. Not that they have to do every step with you, but you know, getting them involved, I think, is a great thing. And so that's what I did. We got the kit, and we built this thing together. The only hiccup in the process was the diff casing. There was a problem with it, and it was, you know, I could put it together, but it was so tight they wouldn't spin. And so I built it, rebuilt it, and couldn't figure it out. Took it to my hobby store. He said just to send it back. So I sent it back, and the customer service took care of it. The only problem was it took like 2 weeks to get it back, and of course we were itching to get this thing built and going. But anyways, HPI took care of it, and we got a brand new diff already put together, and so we went on from there. The only thing I added to this buggy from the stock version, so when you get the kit, it does come with the quarter scale steering servo. For the throttle and brake servo, I used a high-tech 645 MG. And so I got this buggy in February of 2013, and so it's been running for over 2 years now. The servo just burnt out about a month ago, so I replaced it with one very similar, the 645 high-tech servo, so it's have a little bit more power. But yeah, that throttle servo was fine. So put that in, and after it was built, I ended up getting the shock wears covers for the shocks, the outer wears, and then a cover pre-filter for the air filter, and for the pull start, got the cover over here. I also got the RPM bumper. These are things you don't have to have, but these are just good for keeping your shocks clean, and the air filter, you don't have to clean it out quite as often. And then I just like having a bumper that's, you know, it's almost in front of the tires. Helps a little bit. So the build was a lot of fun, and I've driven it a lot just as is. I'm not the type to pour upgrades into things, you know, until they break. And with this buggy, you really don't need to. The first thing that broke was the tires, stock tires. We hit a tree, and something kind of put a gash in the tire right there. And I remember trying to glue it, or we put something on there to make it last, but it ripped pretty far after that. So I had to replace the tires, and I got new beadlock rings there to match the orange. So I ended up replacing the tires. These are Proline bow tie in the rear, and then stock tires are still in the front. What else? At one point I did have to replace the clutch. That burnt out. That was maybe 6 months ago, so we're talking a year and a half worth of running, and then finally that clutch burnt out. The SS kit does come with the pipe, tuned pipe. So you know, you take off the muffler and put on that tuned pipe, and it was so loud. I have a video I'll put in the description box for you to check it out. I have a comparison of the volume of the can filter, and then compared to the pipe that comes with it in the SS kit. And it was so loud, it was just piercing. So I took it off, and you know, I'm not a racer, I'm just a backyard basher, and this is plenty for me. If I can find something eventually in a tuned pipe and maybe find a silencer, you know, and still see an increase in performance, then maybe it'd be worth it. But I'm not using the tuned pipe right now, it's just so loud. Performance-wise, it's just a blast to drive, and it's so reliable. You know, I've tried nitro engines, and it's just so much easier with these gas-powered engines, the actual pump fuel 2-cycle engines. They're a piece of cake to start. They idle forever, and your run time on 1 tank of fuel, it's plenty. I mean, I rarely even fill it all the way up. I'll fill it like a quarter to halfway and run it, and it's usually enough for most of my time out playing with it. Blast to drive. It's super heavy, so be careful if you're running around kids. I'm still working on trying to increase the braking power on this thing, and I don't know what the best solution is at that point. If anybody's got ideas, let me know. But I've seen some people put disc brakes on them. I know I think Turtle Racing makes a brake set to replace the stock ones, so I may end up going there eventually and trying that out. But it still doesn't really have enough brake power. It's just so heavy. It's a lot to slow down. But blast to drive, very reliable. It's tough. Like I said, not a lot has broken. I mean, it was really that first tire that I ripped, and the throttle servo burnt out after 1.5 years or so, and then the clutch had to be replaced. Otherwise, you know, just go. And it's a lot of fun. I use a Futaba 4PL for the radio, and it's got plenty of options. That one's also good for the kids because I can gear down my throttle to like 50% and let the little ones drive, and that way it's not going to get away from them. So yeah, highly recommend it. Can't say enough about the Baja 5BSS. I just look for more from HPI. You know, hopefully they'll put out some more kits, more 5th scale kits. I'm not so much into the short course trucks. I'd love to see a monster truck, you know, 5th scale monster truck come out from HPI, and that'd be a lot of fun. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, put them down below, and carry on.